had to take a slight break because I accidentally had a slight problem.
Yeah.
So where were we?
I can't remember.
Let's see. Between, I think somewhere between nowhere and what the fuck.
We
Alright.
changed it. We do that.
So, what does anybody have any regrets?
The Doctor Who podcast, we actually tangent on top of tangents, and wind up somewhere else entirely.
Guys, does anybody have any regrets about what they haven't gotten to do in the game?
A lot of the Legendary made a massive bucket list of what they wanted to do before the game closes. I know Terrence Knight, one of our Legendary members, has never done a classic Master of Task Force, and he wants to get one of those out of the way.
Oh. Yeah.
I actually want to do one too.
I want to...
What is that one?
Master of Task Force is completing one of the level 50 task forces with no deaths in the team and no temp powers.
Yes. I've done those. I think I've been able to do Recluse. I think I did. I can't remember if I've done Statesman at all. But I know ITF was another one. Although the ITF one has a fun story behind it because we were attempting it once, and well, consider my secondary power as super reflexes means I have a 95% chance to dodge everything. Problem is, I have a 5% chance to. I have a 5% hole in my defenses. In other words, 5% of the time, I will be always hit.
My power set.
And unfortunately, the last mission, Romulus decided to abuse my 5%. And
Look at my power set here.
Granted, this was before I went through and I completely, yeah, you're pretty much, you've got the same thing. Your super reflexes
And
too.
muscle arts super reflex. And I have spent years tweaking this character.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do for twinking in City of Heroes, but building yourself with the right of the invention enhancements is the closest thing.
Yeah.
And there was a third-party program called Mead's Designer. I spent hours in this game min-maxing which particular enhancements to run.
Yeah. I actually this Starlight here.
Does have that same 5% chance to get hit, but I also have a self-heal.
Yeah, I'm missing a self-heal. Or at least I was. Keep in mind, I think this was before I really got into using inventions and whatnot. I mean, this
was also before Inherent Fitness.
That too, yeah.
Changed, which freed up a lot of ability for me to actually pick up some powers.
And I mean, granted, this character now is pretty much done as far as putting out all the enhancements she ever wants. The only thing I could do would have been able to do was get purples and archetype archetype enhancements. And since I never got above 1 billion influence, that dream kind of went out the window.
Let's see. Let's see here. 5 slotted, Ragnarok, Superior Strike 6 slotted.
Not to say I got close.
Oh yeah, plus I have one full set of PvP IOs.
I got 5 level 40 Touch of Death on my Sting of the Wasp.
Touch of Death is not a purple set, Matt.
No.
That's what I was referring to, is the fact that the sets I mentioned were purples, ATOs, or PvP sets, all of which are super expensive market stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think those are purples either.
Yeah.
I farmed most of that when the ability to do hero merits came in.
Granted, the most I've got is a bunch of the Luck of the Gambler recharges.
Oh yeah, I've got that. I've got 5 of those in my build.
Let me check check.
Actually, I got one of those. Actually, no, I got 2 of them. I got one of them sitting in my enhancement inventory.
Let me see here. Global recharge 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's like 3, 4 of them. Yeah.
I'm this character, like I said, I pretty much twinked the best I could possibly do.
Yeah. Sorry.
I referred to this build, I think, when I originally did it, and that was the version before I added the ATOs. I started to name my various builds for my characters. This one was referred to as the Storm God build, as at the moment I was touting up the fact that Nam was supposed to be the mortal reincarnation of Susanoo, the Japanese god of storms. You know, the whole god reference that was going on when we were becoming incarnates.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of my thing, and the amount of recharge I have on this character is 87.5%.
Yeah,
with a 16% damage bonus and a 1.5% accuracy bonus.
Yeah.
And I don't have any toggles running right now.
Let me see where I'm at. Let's see, 3% recovery, 1.79 accuracy bonus.
So you're more accurate than I was.
68.
But I don't really have trouble hitting anybody unless I'm running. And if I did, I have the focused accuracy, epic power pool.
Yeah, and then there's the and then a 68.75% recharge before haste, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could get my I could almost get a second stack of mind wing up but not quite.
Yeah, I had several characters that I had built to the point that I couldn't do anything more with them because to put in a new set, I would have to take out an old set. Mind you, the developers kept telling us that one of the things they kept trying to do was incorporate a way to get new enhancement slots for characters. And that was something that was always on the coming soon list, which we'll never see. There was so much stuff planned for this. I mean, they had issue 24 planned, which was going to be the beginning of dealing with the battalion.
Well, no, actually, issue 24 was the wrap-up and the kind of getting the Praetorians, the misplaced Praetorians off of
Praetorians the Praetorian refugees.
Issue 25 was going to be
the introduction to the battalion. Issue 26 was more fighting of the battalion. 27 was losing to the battalion, and then 28 was defeating the battalion.
And
on the
you want to know what's really bad is that you remember that that space base we always wanted
was coming in issue 28.
Yeah, I wanted to frickin' throw something when I found that out.
Yeah, and then after the battalion, we were going to be fighting the Dimensionals, which was why we kept seeing all these angels that were running around because they were apparently Dimensionals. And after we dealt with the Dimensionals, which was probably going to be another 4 or 5 issues, we were going to be facing the true Rikti. Yeah, apparently the Rikti that we've been fighting since, a long time, are actually mutated humans from another dimension that were mutated by the true Rikti.
And supposedly they wanted to, if we were to go according to Matt Positron Miller's Lorgasm, as he calls it, was according to him, if they ever got us to the Rikti homeworld, they were gonna try and give us Rikti archetypes or epic archetypes anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
people would love that. Especially one of the guys, Arachnos X, in the Legendary, had a character. He was a parody of the Martian Manhunter from DC Comics, called the Rikti Reaver.
Nice.
Yeah, he would have probably re-rolled that as a Rikti archetype.
I always had whenever I saw the Vanguard and went through some of the low-level stuff, I always had dreams of how we were going to eventually invade the Richty homeworld, or how it could work going there and having like its own separate world where you could actually go and have a whole new place to like level and whatnot.
Yeah, it would be interesting. A lot of what they had upcoming, and all of it is now, of course, in the shitter.
I would have liked to see what they were going to do more with Pretoria. Like, I hardly even got to touch Pretoria.
Was done, Aaron.
Huh?
Yeah.
Pretoria's content was done.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
last trial that came out, Magisterium. We wind up fighting Emperor Cole, and he pretty much winds up destroying Pretoria.
Yeah.
Not the planet, the entire sanctuary. In a, if I can't have it, nobody can gambit. And a lot of the Praetorian citizens were evacuated to Primal Earth.
Oh, okay.
In fact, if you go to, I don't know if you have access to beta, Aaron, but I know if you go to one of their previous coffee talks, they show off one of the first missions that you take as an incarnate when you're evacuating people, and you can see in the background the avatar Hamadon basically walking through and destroying what's left of the Magisterium.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Praetorian content, except for the epilogue of the next issue, was done.
Yeah.
And they were going to say what happened to the few surviving members of the elites. What are they called? The Praetors.
Yeah.
There was a few of them that survived.
Let's see, I know Marauder was supposed to be one of them.
Yeah, Bobcat, or as the fan base first referred to her, Boobcat. He survived.
Yeah. I want to say Praetor Duncan also.
Yes, Praetor Duncan, Dominatrix. Yes, she actually does.
Which, yeah.
She also kind of betrayed them to us, so.
Yeah.
She's technically on our side, but we don't entirely trust her.
That is actually one of my two things on my bucket list I'm probably gonna do. One, I want to finish off the Praetorian story arc. I never had a chance to finish off never did get a chance to do any of the eye trials from the TPN on, which I don't know if I'll be able to, since I don't know if there's still enough people to be doing them now.
Yeah, it's mostly because people did the trials to get the incarnate salvage for the powers, and it's like I had several half-complete bases.
Yeah.
I was the base editor for Legendary Academy, which was our school, the PSI PPD Special Investigations, which was a police station, and the Virtue League, which was a underground headquarters base.
No.
I should mention, guys, I should mention, guys, that if any of you want me to come to go through and record footage of your supergroup bases, I'm willing to do that.
I'm not really going to be overly concerned.
Okay.
I built the bases to be used and to look awesome, but I was never expecting to record them for posterity.
Okay.
And besides, that would actually have to be, before they could be recorded properly, I would have had to have finished them.
Okay.
And working on two separate rooms for PSI, one of which was my Supermax prison, which looked absolutely awesome. It had I had the first two floors done. The third floor was where I was adding the final bars to it. And I was probably going to add a couple more laser scanners in there. And then the room that had only gotten barely touched was the new central office space, which I actually had elevator shafts with elevators in them.
Nice.
And I had been working on all of this based on ideas I had. I worked on the other room when I got sick of putting in bars, because you can only add so many bars before it gets really redundant, and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I would then go work on the other room, and let's see, Legendary Academy always suffered from a lack of prestige. So I could only do so much with the Academy, but I was building a Japanese-style school with a full 8 design, and it was going to be 3 levels. Again, there were some problems with the City of Heroes base editor. It wasn't really their fault. When Cryptic split from City of Heroes, one of the Cryptic developers took the code notes for the base editor when they went. So they basically had to relearn how to use the base editor from scratch in Paragon Studios.
Yeah.
And one they had planned was coming up is they were going to scrap the existing base editor and completely redo it.
Have any of you guys done any base editing or base creation in Champions Online?
There isn't anything really done for base editing. You get a personal hideout for your character.
So it's like an apartment in Anarchy Online?
It's a little more, a little less. It's not like you can, add a whole bunch of furniture. What it is you get several different options of what you want. You can get a basement you've got your choice of mom's basement, tech basement, art basement. Mom's basement's the free one. You can get a cave hideout, kind of a bat cave-esque, and there's, tech, natural, kind of, that kind of look. You can get a moon base. There's a couple of different styles of moon base. And then you can also get a industrial or luxury kind of penthouse thing that you can also get. That's what I probably would have gotten for Weeple Boy if I ever made him in Champions. And I might get one for Perfect Detective. However, but instead of having stuff that you can add to it, like Anarchy Online, you basically can choose between certain options. It's like, do I want a pinball table there, or do I want a cabinet? Do I want kind of couch, or do I want this kind of thing there? It's not real. You've got choices for customization, but you don't really have options you can add.
Okay.
Or remove,
I assume it grows a little bit as your group grows or something?
And mind you, that system is still relatively new.
No,
It's
Matt.
only
It
after
doesn't.
you-
Matt
It doesn't
had
expand
asked,
at all?
yeah.
One of the things that is useful about that is your hideout does have access to your shared bay.
Okay.
And kind of along the same lines, for those that have played Star Trek Online, as your starship, where you can choose, what kind of bridge you want and that kind of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was another one I played. I forgot to mention was STO.
Yeah, I still play STO on and off.
I probably go back there
Others.
now that it's free to play. Considering I actually bought a lot of stuff, I actually ended up going through all the way to in the free month trial I had before it was free to play. I ended up going all the way up to max level at the time. Which,
I went from 1 to 50 in that game in 3 days.
yeah, it does not take that much. But the saves combat really is a lot of fun there.
Yeah, the ground combat's gotten better too, but that's
Yeah, they've been overhauling a lot of stuff. I mean, it's been going leaps and bounds.
Although,
that's for a different podcast.
Yeah.
no problem.
We're here to talk about City of Heroes.
Which I was actually about to go back to was the fact. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff Champions has that City of Heroes has. Well, the only thing they would be able to replicate that I'm gonna miss a lot is gonna be the story, pretty much the main overarching story of
Champions Online follows the Champions RPG universe. Interesting little side story. Champions Online started its development history as Marvel Universe Online.
Yes, I remember that.
But Marvel backed out, so Cryptic was stymied because they had this half-built game, and they quickly obtained the license for the Champions RPG and turned it into Champions Online. Whereas City of Heroes was developed from scratch. It was its own unique universe with, heroes, some of which were built from Jack Emmert's tabletop days. Statesman, who they killed very recently in the storyline.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of the other ones were too.
And it was a lot of, this was definitely one of the most unique. In fact, as far as designs go that I've seen in a long time, hell, Arachnos, it probably has, to this, it's still gonna have for a long time my favorite villain group costumes. It's one of the reasons I love the Soldier, the Fortunata. It's just like it's to me it's so unique in how they did it.
Okay. Well, I was never that fond of Arachnos because it seemed like they never really did anything.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Arachnos.
Change that. The thing is, there's so many has-beens and could-have-beens.
Yeah.
And How's Fly for? The story for this game was not done.
I know.
By a long shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, I look at my character list and those are friends and family. And it's just like NC Soft has basically come in with a giant gun and just shot through the heads of all of them.
Yeah, you might, or as
playing this game now.
Or as I remember you were saying, was the only way they could have done this worse is if they had somebody come into the studio and pull the plug and say sorry, and shut the lights off right then and there when they fired everybody.
Ooh, Hit Streaks on the admin channel.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, it's I play this game now and I get bitter.
Yeah.
And people have noticed this. I've made comments in the legendary forums that I just get bitter and grumpy, and it's hard for me to play because it's just this feeling of just bitter ashes in my mouth.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point?
I was playing my new tunes last night. One of my new tunes, Rick Splatter. It's the character I made based after the Splatterhouse games, which I really like. And I'm getting through the story arc with the school where you get where you cure the boss. The Midnighters, sorry. And I've had to get it done. I'm like,
oh man,
I just can't be here anymore. It's just painful. I have the.
And then you mentioned that, and I realized that you probably would have really wanted that hockey mask that was going to be coming in the chainsaw that was going to be coming with the Apocalypse set. That Tunnel Rat. Yes, Tunnel. Look, if you go back and look at the forums, Tunnel Rat was, or one of, I think it was Tunnel Rat that's the current head of.
Well, actually, I got a really good mask for Rick. I got a pretty solid size.
Yeah, they were
3, but the chainsaw would have been perfect.
They were. Yeah, she was. If you go back, look at the forums. She was doing Apocalypse. It was a set. It was a player designed set. It was basically think of like the Fallout universe where it's like all post-apocalyptic where you're with like old rusted football gear and everything. And that was actually the first time they had they showed off quivers, which was more just going to be it was a golf bag.
We saw that when we were looking through. It's like you realize how easy it would have been to make Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The hockey mask. They were gonna give you a chainsaw for Titan weapons and probably a really awesome thing, a chainsaws for dual blades.
That's right.
Wow.
No, I wouldn't have been entirely happy until I could have had a chainsaw in one hand and a shotgun in the other.
Oh god.
I would have just gone through, Samora or one of the other zones with a lot of zombies, just sitting there going, ooh.
Now they actually did try to do kind of a gun and sword style power, but they could never get it right. It was supposed to be used for one of the characters that was supposed to debut in the Korean version, and they just somehow could not. For some reason, they couldn't get the power to flow right. Which,
Well, then they're a bunch of putzes. Get to people who know how to make this look good.
it was disappointing to say the least.
Bunch of primitive screw hits.
Unfortunately, they now will never be able to finish getting it right. Actually, I don't think even Champions has anything really like that.
Not really.
One gun and one sword. I know they have it where you can do a kind of a Deadpool type character. With
Anarchy Online, you have if you're dual wielding, it's dual melee or dual range, but you cannot do melee range.
Yeah, the only time I've seen a melee one where you have a sword and gun is Warhammer Online with the Witch Hunter, and that is friggin' cool.
Yeah, there was so much left to do. And I look at my character sheet too, and I look at the characters, and I look at the goals I had for those characters that I know I'm never going to achieve.
Yeah, and you want to,
It depresses me.
And hitting back on the fact that they didn't even know it was going to hit them was.
They were going full tilt boogie on this stuff.
Yeah, there was a recent interview with Positron saying he name dropped Psychic Melee that was supposed to come at the end of the year.
Yeah, they as far as they knew, everything was they were good to go. They were in the black. They had received no word of anything from NCSoft. And if they ever were going to start operating in the red, what they were going to do is they were going to shut down some servers. And they could have shut down servers. I mean, if you took a look at like Victory and Justice and Triumph, they had low server populations that could have been migrated to like Infinity.
Yeah.
And they could have just shut those servers down, and it would have saved their cost, and they would have made them more profitable. So there were steps that could have been taken. And then this just came out that we're closing the game because of restructuring. This is why I will never, ever, ever play another NCSoft title for the rest of my life.
And I totally agree with you. As much as I've seen reviews of Guild Wars 2. It looks like a beautiful game. I've told this to a friend of mine who asked me my opinion on Guild Wars 2. It looks beautiful. It looks like really fun. But because NCSoft has their head so far up their ass that they can't figure out what's good and what's not, it's not worth it to go and play it when they can literally just turn the lights off at will.
NCSoft take Guild Wars, and they can take Guild Wars 2, they can shine it up real nice, turn it sideways, and stick it up their ass, because I'm done with it.
No. I am a defender of Guild Wars, I might add.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not saying it's a bad game.
But there are other games. I could have sworn there's like 3 or 4 other games they have, and I couldn't be caring less.
Ion.
Yeah.
Ion,
the only other
Lineage 2.
Yes, Aeon particularly.
Aeon, Lineage 2, which is, from what I'm not sure if anyone watches Chaos D1.
Oh yes,
but
I do.
The Lineage, from what I saw of Lineage 2, it's like I want to stay as far away from that game as possible.
Eric, two letters, PK, player killer.
Yeah.
I had my fill of PKs with Diablo and Diablo 2, thank you very much.
Games could be running with wine and honey. I will not touch them as long as NCSoft is on the title.
I know. I actually hope Aranet, the people who do Guild Wars 2, are able to get themselves away from NCSoft before Guild Wars 2 starts losing people.
Oh yeah. And you know, they'll axe them both. They'll axe both Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 as soon as things start slipping too far. Because again, it's not quite the same thing that they offer. It's not they're actually not grinding.
It's not what they promise. It's not what they deliver, and it's just like, yeah, that's like they don't trust it. The forum mod for City of Heroes, Atavia, came over to City of Heroes after the fall of Tabula Rasa. So this is the second time they've pulled this bullshit on her.
It also shakes your trust in any kind of video game company, really. Like, is Lord of the Rings Online going to be next?
What's that?
Is Lord of the Rings Online going to be next? Is it going to be worth putting money into Lotro or World of Warcraft or any time or money into those games? Who knows when they're going to get the plug?
I have faith in Funcom. I have faith in Funcom because by my own estimations, Anarchy Online should have been shut down 3 or 4 years ago.
Randy, you know they've rehired people, right?
Backing that.
You know they've rehired people for Secret World.
Yes. They've been asking people to save their budget. To be honest, the Lindaloo, the one that just quit, will be leaving at the end of the year anyway.
Yeah, that's what she said in her post.
Early so that they wouldn't have to fire anyone else. Because of their Secret World is not as profitable as they had hoped it would be.
Well, for the Secret World, Randy, for the Secret World, they are actually hiring back people.
MMO. Financially, it's a bad year for MMOs. I think we're seeing the beginning of the MMO crash.
Yeah, and
because the MMO market has been glutted in the last 2-3 years.
Now they're making stupid decisions and getting rid of things that they want to keep.
I generally blame those kind of crashes on the people that on the best in the series. Most notably, like with the adventure gaming crash, I blame Myst because everybody wanted to everybody wanted to try and make a Myst clone with MMOs. I blame WoW because everybody wants to try and emulate WoW's success when you cannot emulate WoW's success.
I can't understand WoW's success.
I actually have a little secret. One of the things I was hearing when it first launched, what happened was there were a lot of guilds from EverQuest that were totally pissed off with SOE. They just it was a mass migration from EverQuest to World of Warcraft because people knew the Blizzard name, people knew the Warcraft name. Everybody knew the
universe, which apparently got massively rewritten.
That was then. That was now. I'm talking about when it first launched. I mean, even though, despite the fact it was buggy as hell, despite the fact that it really, when you get right down to the bare bones, not fun, and that it's as elitist as all hell, because you had all these people migrate over, you suddenly have kind of a conundrum of people would like to go try other games, but because they have their friends there that don't want to leave WoW or can't leave WoW because of the progress they made, everybody's kind of stuck there, and it kind of self-perpetuates itself. I mean,
until they get pissed off and out with WoW that they leave.
Well, I think that's what's going on with Guild Wars 2. That's why Guild Wars 2 is so popular, because a lot of it seems to be former WoW players, and they're looking to support the WoW killer, the game that, betrayed them.
Everybody's looking for the next WoW killer, and there really is no such thing. WoW is
just going to kill itself eventually. You just need to wait long enough for people to finally get sick and tired of it.
I mean,
WoW came out in a specific time in MMO history where there weren't a lot of MMOs.
Yeah, and granted, the other thing that's going to kill WoW is Diablo 3. I play Diablo 3 day one, and I can, from first-hand experience, can tell you it is one of the biggest disappointments of the year. It's a lot worse than it should have been, and because everybody, although granted I didn't have as high expectations as everybody else who thought it was the second coming of Jesus and was going to bring him to the promised land, but At least that's how people on the forums try to make it out.
Aha! That's why I bought
What?
What?
Sorry.
You're losing Matt. Matt occasionally hits internet out in the middle of Nowheresville will lose connection.
Oh, lovely. I
Oh.
think he was talking.
Having that problem, Matt. Yep, there he goes.
We lost him.
Yep. It
Okay.
happened last night too during the Doctor Who podcast.
Okay.
It's about this time of night his internet goes.
Jeez.
But it's the thing is, like I said, there weren't that many MMOs out when
Here he is.
when WoW
I think my old man just used the internet. Joy.
Is Frap... Man, is your Frap still good?
I was not recording. You said you were recording.
I asked you if you were backing up the recording.
and Matt.
Yeah, and I asked if you were doing good, and you said yes.
I asked you if you were backing up the recording, that's why I asked you that.
Oh shit.
Well, if it's not recording right now, well, it should be. I mean, it's the numbers are red, so.
Yeah, it should be working fine then for you. Get it? As soon as anything starts acting wonky, that's when I switch on.
Yeah.
That's usually what I mean by backup. I don't set backup to be always recording.
Anyway, I'm guessing you were mentioning something about Torchlight 2, Matt.
That's why I bought Torchlight 2. It was cheaper, and it's probably gonna be better and less high expectations.
I played
Halo
that.
3.
It's been released. I played a little bit of the demo. It is like about better, even though I've only played like a few. I'll only play like a few levels.
Nail on that.
I still haven't installed it, but it's on my to-do list.
It's once I take my certification test this Friday, I'm gonna be getting that and Secret World and trying those guys out.
Secret World is beautiful. It's the same engine as Neo and Age of Conan, only taken up a notch.
Yeah.
And
Although
especially like the zombie horror genre. Oh, you're in
getting back to my point of why Diablo 3 is going to kill World of Warcraft is because expectations were not met, because people had these really high expectations of Blizzard, and Blizzard still, several months after the release, have yet to meet those standards. They lost a ton of confidence. I'm actually wondering how much it actually affected Mrs. Pandaria's sales when it was released recently.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. And this has lost a lot of people's faith in NCSoft.
Yeah.
If they had faith in NCSoft.
I've
I've lost all respect for this company. I have all the respect for the Paragon Studios staff. They are wonderful, beautiful people, each and every one of them. The parent company has gone on my list of top 10 douche canoe companies.
Yeah.
Well,
It's right up there, right underneath EA.
Yeah.
I have more respect for EA than I do for NCSoft.
Oh, I don't. Oh, hell no, I don't. I lost all
And I don't
respect for them when they killed Bullfrog.
respect for EA.
When they killed Bullfrog, that was the end for me.
Yeah, but no, I have more respect for them than I have for NCSoft.
Yeah.
A company that would go around and forge somebody's resignation, no respect.
I honestly was indifferent to them until this happened, and then when I found out Nexon bought them, I already have a.
I heard that Nexon's pretty evil.
The only reason why
don't know that.
NCSoft isn't hated more is because Nexon is still around.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're now
According-
the majority shareholder for them.
Yeah,
So
Nexon.
you can put both of them in the same breath.
To give you an example, you had overpriced stuff. You had devs that didn't listen. You had mass bannings that were for literally no reason. People were literally people were actually being banned for farming. normal stuff that you would do. The excuse was, oh, you're not supposed to, the card's this item's rare for a reason. You're not supposed to farm it. That's why we're banning you. And people are like, what? No. And this doesn't make sense. I mean, and then you have currently MapleStory, their big cash cow, where everything there pretty much is on anything you purchase there is on like a timer. Like nothing's permanent really. So there's no point in really buying anything except the pay to win stuff, which I never bought. It just ended up getting and it's actually surprising that they haven't died. That they haven't killed Maple.
Father, you shouldn't be downloading porn.
Again.
Randy, you're AFK too.
Oh yeah, I am, because I all tapped out. But yeah, I've lost all respect for NC stuff. I give all props to Paragon Studios. But one thing this has given me more respect for is the guys over at Cryptic and the guys at Funcom.
Although
Funcom released the patch notes for tomorrow's patch for Anarchy Online, and I ran through those patch notes and I was basically like, I fucking love you!
Ooh, patch notes.
I do want to say, did you guys hear the really hilarious rumor that apparently there was a rumor floating around that Nexon and NCSoft were trying to pool their money together to buy Valve.
Oh God.
That was a
in hell.
Yeah, I know. Granted, everybody came out and said this rumor's not true, but I was like, everybody on the forum was like, yeah, right. No, the Valve would rather disintegrate than get bought out by anybody, especially these douchebags.
Well, don't say that.
Although
sometimes a company will be bought without the company that's being bought to permit it.
Well, granted, they aren't
such a thing as a hostile purchase in the business.
They're not being traded on. They're not being traded on the open. They're not a public.
A lot harder.
So yeah, it makes it. But no, what I was thinking would be hilarious is that not only did they laugh at that rumor, but Valve turned around and decided to buy out Nexon and NCSoft.
Valve bought them?
I would think that would be hilarious if that would have happened.
I know they were trying to get Valve to buy the City of Heroes IP.
I know that was
and
going on.
now City of Heroes has gone out and say, no, we're not selling the IP to anybody. Fuck off.
Yeah. That's because they're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
I saw the patch notes for AO. I'm just like, I fucking love you guys. I look at the stuff that's coming out for Champions and for Star Trek Online, and I'm like, I love you guys too! I swear, if Perfect World International sold Cryptic Studios to Funcom, it would be the world's happiest day. It'd be my best day ever.
Best day.
Because I would go out and I would personally see if I could purchase a Funcom shirt, just so I could wear my Funcom shirt with pride around. I'm such a freaking Funcom loyalist these days now. Especially after all this shit.
It does make you appreciate the companies that do bother putting work into their games.
Yes!
I mean, not that Paragon Studios didn't bother, but like, the people, yeah. You know who I mean.
You take a look at the fact Anarchy Online is already planning its 12th anniversary.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Its 10th anniversary was horrible. Its 9th anniversary was wonderful. The 11th anniversary was...
Wasn't it the same thing as the 10th anniversary, actually?
What's that?
Wasn't the 11th anniversary the same thing as the 10th anniversary?
The 10th anniversary was my letter of rage to them over that freaking endgame farm fest that they made that one.
Oh yeah, that was the 11th anniversary as well, the Desert Rider.
Yeah, the 9th anniversary was great because they added a new item to Org Cities for the anniversary.
The sauna.
And the items dropped in all the various level dungeons. So regardless of what level you were, you could go around and farm up these items and contribute. So no matter what, you felt epic because you contributed to making this happen for your organization. It was beautiful. And we were waiting in expectation and joy for the 10th anniversary, and we got this freaking high-level freaking raid.
Oh, rip off.
That was a huge level of what the fuck, guys, that I posted on the Anarchy Online forum.
Yeah, it was what, the Desert Rider, in order to defeat him, you had to be like at least level 200 or 220.
Yeah, they were not letting people in teams that were unless you were unless you were title level 7, 205 plus.
Oh wow.
And that meant that, you know, if the thing is that all the mobs that were dropping the items that helped spawn the Desert Raider was being done by Lobby, so it's like, yeah, guys, have fun.
Yeah, I have issue with any content that breeds elitism, or also known as.
That was my big bitch in that post.
Well, and also the fact that there's a item that was supposed to drop that everyone could get, even if they weren't the ones that killed it. And so many people swarmed around the damn thing that no one could touch it.
Yeah,
so they actually had to put the item in the item shop.
Actually, now it is currently a permanent item in the item shop for 0 points.
Oh, so they put it permanent. Cool.
So that you can get the jetpack now?
Yep, for 0 points.
Oh, awesome.
Gonna have to get my new guy to get the jetpack.
Yeah.
Might be worth it to try out Anarchy too.
I always recommend people trying Anarchy. It's an old game. It's free to play. You don't get it for the world's greatest graphics. They're working on a new engine for it, but they're going to have it so that you can simultaneously use the old engine and the new engine. So for people that have old crappy machines, they can still log on to AO. It's better if you pay because then you get all the expansions.
You get Shadowlands.
Shadowlands, which is, and it allows you those additional 20 levels above 200, and it allows you to get the Alien Invasion, which is 30 levels of AI XP, and Lost Eden, which is 70 bars worth of research that gives you bonus stuff.
It's actually kind of sad. I remember when Anarchy Online was being released, and it was actually one I was thinking about wanted to try and buy.
World's crappiest release. Literally, their servers kept crashing. People couldn't log in. There was a lot of lag. So that was one of the world's worst releases, as opposed to the Secret World release where you just had some bug quests. Funcom did a lot in the last decade.
Yeah, and actually, that if it's one thing MMOs have gotten better with is their releases, is that you barely have issues with with getting crashes sometimes.
Champions Online.
I said
The
recently.
launch day nerf from hell. Where they basically redid all the power sets and made them weaker on launch day.
Oh, wow.
Everybody. And yeah, one of the higher level instances was bugged to hell.
What was the justification on that?
I don't know. They just decided it was overpowered and hit it with nerf bat, and everybody cried foul. And then all the developers immediately, as soon as Champions launched, left to go to Star Trek Online.
Huh. Wow. Fail.
Maybe you're AFK.
It's gotten better since then.
So I've heard and seen, and I mean, granted, I can get. I mean, the big thing everybody seems to have problems getting past is the art style, which I actually
There's a way around that.
There's a way around it.
I was gonna say I like the cell shaded, but
Okay.
We actually turned that off, and then we set our graphics quality up to like 200%, and it's tolerable at that point.
wow.
It also has to
Actually,
do with
I think it's
proportioning
pretty
your
sensitive,
character properly too. Like if you can go through and you can change the size of your character's hands and arms and everything so that they look a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, I always kind of minimize the hand size, because otherwise you've got these huge hands.
Oh, good.
I'm a mage. I need huge hands.
Yeah, I could see a bunch of insinuation. You know what they say about the size of your hands?
Look like large, strong hands, don't they?
Grab the hands of a woman, my lord. Wait, whoops. Whoops, wrong quote.
Yeah, it's there's ways to make that one look better and closer to City of Heroes. The play style of that is faster than City of Heroes.
Yeah.
But City of Heroes is an older game, and the older games have that slower play style. Anarchy Online has it too.
Yeah, although granted, the weirdest complaint I heard about Champions was was about blocking, and that heroes shouldn't have to block.
Well, no, the blocking is a key portion of that, mind you. A couple of my characters never block, but I have their regen. So it's like, oh look, I took damage. Oh look, I healed it back. But I should pay more attention to that because you get less knockback if you block.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've gotten knocked halfway across the board a couple of times. But other than that playstyle of Champions it's the best pseudo City of Heroes out there. Once City of Heroes is gone.
Yeah.
I've been playing around. DC Universe has an interesting playstyle. It's a lot faster, even than Champions. But again, you feel like you're second stringers to the main DC heroes.
And
Yeah.
you're doing it more than them. Just
I think apparently the whole backstory is that you get is that their nanites release that give all these people superpowers based off the DC characters, which again doesn't help the whole second fiddle thing.
The voice acting is great though.
Oh god, yeah. If you ever play Universe Online, you play for the voice acting.
Oh yeah, especially since they have
Ricky Conroy and Mark freaking Hamill.
I know. That's why I was gonna mention the fact that they've got the main cast from the animated series is worth it enough, pretty much.
But the Champions Online also has voice acting. It's not as good. Very good.
Well, more.
Secret World also has voice acting, and it's fairly awesome voice acting.
Now, apparently Marvel is also supposed to be releasing their own MMO as well.
It's going to be a Diablo.
It's Diablo. It's pretty much. It's from what I've gathered. It's more like Marvel Ultimate Alliance online. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a browser game. Matt, tell your father to stop downloading porn.
I don't know why, but whenever he does anything game-wise on his computer that has anything to do with the internet lately, it's constantly crashing. It's been doing this since like freaking spring, and it's getting annoying. But yeah.
Yeah, those are really the only other two superhero MMOs out there. Different enough that they're their own thing. I've got counts on both. If I had to choose between one of them, I'd choose Champions. Even though, I mean, I love the epic voice acting of DC Universe Online, but I really only play it if I've overdosed on, like, Young Justice or the old DCAU. And I just feel like I need to be part of the DC Universe, and when I play DC Universe Online, the rest of the time I play Champions. I would be playing City of Heroes, of course, but it won't be with us. That's the thing. I'll be enjoying myself, and I'll bring that up, and it's just like immediately somber note.
Yeah. How is everybody coping with this big change? I mean, we're all going over to Champions. Is there like any major splits? Or some people going to Champions and some people going to DCU that you've seen?
It's different things. Bob is a little sad because he had found this great role-playing group, and they're going to Lotro.
Oh.
Bob, of course, plays Rift, so he's not going to play Lotro. DS is in denial.
Yeah, DS is obviously
Our
in denial,
friend
which is
Dark
why
Seraphim.
his soul seems to be crushed tonight.
I'm just kind of glad. I'm just, in some respects, I'm kind of glad that that I have to concentrate on studying for my CCNA for Friday, because otherwise I would be so freaking. Otherwise, I'd be getting on here and I would be so freaking depressed every time I came on.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I get depressed and bitter.
I mean,
I'm throwing myself whole hog into either Champions or AO recently.
I mean, I was watching a decently good review of Guild Wars 2, and the one thing that kept going through my mind was, yeah, but it's not City of Heroes. And that is the one thing, and I'm like, I just would not be able to get over that.
Yeah, I refuse to play Guild Wars 2. Like I said, I don't trust the company anymore.
This
has been a PR nightmare for NC stuff, and I hope it kills the company. I feel sorry for the people that love games like Guild Wars and Lineage 2 or Ion or whatever, but I'm bitter.
I'm a
vindictive person, and I hope the PR feedback from this kills NC Soft.
I was honestly looking forward to WildStar, but after what happened here, it's like, what's the point? They're not gonna. Chances are, it's not gonna conform to standards over in Korea. So they're just gonna. So it's not gonna be popular over there. It's not gonna get picked up. They're gonna get closed down because they obviously don't give a damn about their Western audience.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm probably going to keep going with Champions Online. Like I said, I've re-upped with it, and I'm probably going to be focusing on Lotro too.
You've got to worry because Champions Online is owned by Cryptic, which is owned by Perfect World International, which is another Korean company.
Yeah.
But unlike NC Soft, I would also argue that Perfect World has actually been doing very good with free-to-play MMOs.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's. I hope they don't get that grinder. They don't eventually change management and go into that grind test or die mentality.
I've seen I've seen their. I was actually going to try one of their other works, Rusty Hearts, and from what because it's kind of a Devil May Cry type fighting style, but I installed it and then I never got around to playing it because
I hear it's good, but I'm not interested in a game where I can't make my own character, to be honest.
True. It's more it's actually very story driven.
Kind of the same with Vindictus, only with Vindictus you have to go through Nexon.
It's also very story-driven.
Yeah.
And you still can make your own character in that.
You can technically make your own character, but you have to. It's kind of you're playing a pre-made character already that has a backstory.
Yeah, that's not appeal to me.
I have a version of Nam in the Secret World. That's my main character there. He's more of a reluctant badass type. It's still kind of cool.
If I want to play a game with a pre-made character with a pre-made background, I'll play a Final Fantasy game. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Although, I was looking at Secret World. I was actually they actually have a system that I had been wanting for a long time. I'm not sure if any of you played the Quest for Glory, the old Sierra Quest for Glory games.
No.
They had basically it was a hybrid. It was kind of a hybrid adventure game RPG, but instead of gaining levels, you would do things like the more you did stuff, the more your stat points would increase. And Secret World kind of does the same thing, from what you were explaining during the demo at GeekCon, Randy.
Yeah, it's a different system.
And that's a system
I'd love to be able to do one of these podcasts from one of the bar in London in the Secret World one time.
They have released what they are going to be doing for their Halloween event.
Oh, really? I haven't taken a look.
They are going for Irish folklore.
I've been dealing with my lost City of Heroes by focusing on AO and champions mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Secret World is going for Irish folklore, plus they're introducing group investigation missions.
Cool.
Interesting. Yeah, and then there was, from what I've seen, there's a lot of Lovecraftian horror in there too, and I've been really getting interested in Lovecraftian type horrors.
I actually might hop on Secret World tomorrow.
I've been reading the tabletop Cthulhu game was awesome.
Yeah. I've actually been I've been trying to read some of his short stories. Also I'm trying to think what else I've been getting into the Lovecraft. I've been loving the Dark Astoria stuff. For that.
It was very Lovecraftian with the Dark Astoria arcs.
Yeah, that was a.
The Mott is one of the ancient ones.
Yeah, it's from what when the first time I walked in there, and it went from the first thing that popped in my head was Silent Hill 4, but after going through it, like, yeah, this seems very Cthulhu-esque. Oh yeah, and then there was the the Dunwich building from Fallout 3.
Yeah, if you love that kind of stuff, you'll love the Secret World.
Yeah, that's been and then the only thing I've been trying to figure out is which
faction?
Which faction? I'm debating between either the Illuminati or the Templars currently.
Templars are the least secretive of the secret societies.
Yeah. If you ever wanted somebody that's close to the Helsing organization from Helsing, you choose the Templars.
Yeah.
If you want a lesbian scene, make a female dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know. I actually saw the initiation is you basically have sex.
Well, it's implied. You're experiencing ecstasy.
But yeah, it's
weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just part of the intro. I deal with it. I am a member of the Dragons in that because it Nam Asian, yeah.
Now, is it possible for different factions to team up with each other?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's nothing that stops that.
In fact, you can team across quote-unquote servers. They're not really servers.
Yeah.
Yes. Secret World is run on one big super server, and really it's just the different dimensions are all compatible with each other. So
I know that there is world PvP, I think, but there's it's easily turn-offable.
It's easily ignorable.
Or ignorable, yeah. Yeah, it's not like in World of Warcraft where you walk into the first town and you suddenly have everybody trying to slash duel you.
No, hell no.
That always drove me crazy.
Yeah, actually there's a little of that in AO too, but I always just ignore them. Unless I'm on my twink, in which case I beat them down and go, yeah.
That's always fun. Oh no. Oh, what's even more fun is going to the. What was even more fun in Warcraft was I had this one max level character. I decided to do low level questing, and I noticed there was this alliance guy that was attacking low levels near the start point. So he was lower level than me, and I decided to kick his ass a couple times to get the message of get the hell out of my area, you dumbass.
Who is noob? You be noob.
There's a little of that slash duel bit that goes on in Champions Online too.
But usually it tends to be mutual if you go into the circle.
Yeah, I've gotten I've gotten a couple of them that tried that with me on my version of Perfect Detective over there, and they've learned that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind good PvP as long as it's done right.
Well, that's the thing. That is the thing about. That is the one thing that never did work right with City of Heroes.
I know. That was so disappointing.
Yep.
I tried.
And then they broke it worse.
I know. And well, according to Positron, it was always on their to-do list. It's just it was just never popular enough because once they broke it further, the majority PvP community said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
Or I'm going to another game. Yeah.
And while there are events and everything, I mean, you see, it's still fun. It was never the same, and it's still funny that.
For the longest time, it was basically stalker or die in PvP.
And then they overbalanced it.
No, that was even after the overbalance. But I built my claw regen scrapper designed to make stalkers cry. Because what would you do when you did assassin strike, placate, assassin strike?
Well, yeah.
My claw regen scrapper regen to the point that you assassin strike and placate, and by the time assassin strike came back up, I'd already healed all the damage from the first one.
Although, yeah, what was I gonna say? One thing that was always funny to do was watch anytime on the forum that someone mentioned PvP. It just pretty much opens a shitstorm of everything from how people think that PvP was not completely broken to how the castle ruined it forever and whatnot. It was just so hilarious to just sit there and watch everybody bicker about it.
Yeah, it was always a big issue. I know the other thing that people always talked about was base rating.
Yes.
I personally was glad when Positron announced that would never come back, period. Because I spend time working on a base. I don't want some idiots running through there smashing the crap out of it.
I'm actually disappointed that they lost the tech for the mayhem safeguard missions.
They lost the tech?
Well, kind of. Something along the lines of what you were saying of what happened with the mission. With the base building software, where it's like it was so archaic when it was first built that when everybody that knew it had left, and no one knew how the tech worked, so they couldn't really do anything with the mayhem mission type stuff, which is kind of sad, since that would have been nice to see more missions with destructible objects.
That would have been nice.
I mean, that was if it was one thing I absolutely loved with the villains, was going through and just going through with it and just blowing stuff up in those mayhem missions.
Yeah, that was a nice little feature. And yeah, it actually did get implemented pretty much across the game in Champion.
Yeah.
Wow, we've actually been on this for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Now, what's the time that we're on?
I got 12.
We're almost at 1 o'clock.
I show we've been here for 3 hours.
I'm saving this to my...
Above and beyond, but then again, we did a lot of tangenting too.
Yeah, I'm saving this onto my 2 terabyte hard drive, by the way, so we should still have room.
I know. It just was.
Yeah.
Are we actually running out of things to talk about, or?
Yeah, we're just kind of going on a tangent, I think. At this
I
point.
think so. I think we have talked quite a bit about City of Heroes and everything. Is there anything you wanted to say specifically about City of Heroes itself, the game?
This was a beautiful game. It was well thought out. It was well plotted. It was a joy to play. It was a great. I come home. I'm pissed off. I want to go beat the crap out of something. I'm going to log into City of Heroes and beat the crap out of Council or this. It was a wonderful therapy game. It had
And then NCSoft screwed it up.
It was actually quiet, man. It was a beautiful game with a beautiful community, a lot of friends, and it is a damn shame to see it go.
I can sum it up with this: is that I came for the superheroes. I stayed for the plot and the community, and it's like just first loves. I just could never. I always found no matter what other MMO I tried, I always ended up finding myself coming back here, and even though I would get bored with it from time to time, I knew that just eventually it'd be there waiting for me whenever I was ready to come back again.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not. Yeah, that's what one of the people in the Legendary said, is he was taking like a 2 to 3 month break from City of Heroes because he burned out. And he had always thought that, yeah, I'll go try something else, but City of Heroes will always be there when I come back. And then he heard this announcement and he was just broken.
It's just, some of the stuff I'll always remember is watching the Rularu invade in issue 2, the Council Civil War in issue 3,
My first actual social event in an MMO.
Yeah, the watching, getting actually having after City of Villains was released, there was one of the, I can't remember what issue it was, but I think it was issue 10. They had when they introduced the Rikti invasions, they actually had devs log in as signature heroes and villains. I actually got a chance to fight alongside Ghostwhip.
Yeah.
During that.
That was nice when they would do that and play as the signature heroes. It's a lot of the characters from this game are going to be staying with me long after it's gone. And it's not just the main Freedom Phalanx or the Arachnos. Little characters like Fusionette.
Yes, Fusionette was. Oh God,
We must try to find a way to resurrect her in the.
I tried to actually make her in Champions. It didn't quite work.
I can try.
I could probably see if I can try to rebuild my Chronet. You remember when we first started hanging out on here, you talked to me about doing different dimension Fusionettes. I got the idea of crossing Fusionette with Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Oh yeah. I might wind up making a version of Patriot somewhere. She's kind of she became one of my integral characters, and she was rolled as a joke.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, but I mean, a lot of these other characters, Fusionette is probably going to be chief among the ones I will never forget. Sorry, just the characters like the ones that they introduced when the free-to-play started, the Shining Stars.
Yes.
A lot of those characters were beautifully written.
Yeah. Well, hero side anyway. Villain side,
that one was good. Especially what's her face, the one that turned out to be the big bad.
Oh.
She's like psychotic.
Oh, you're
Mother
talking
Mayhem?
about it on Villain side?
No, not Praetorians, Aaron.
Oh.
Are you talking about the villain side tutorial?
The villain side startup arc, the Dr. Graves arc.
Yeah, I never got through it. Really.
Are you talking about Dollface?
Dollface, yes.
Yeah.
You think of her as just this childish little girl, and then you find out what she is at the end, and you're just like, oh my god.
What was she at the end? Because I'm probably never going to know, because I won't be able to get to the end of her stuff. I just started Dr. Graves.
Was this big soul-sucking spirit.
Oh, really?
He was like a demon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And the whole thing, the entire arc that you're going through was her idea.
Oh wow.
Because her body was breaking down and she needed a new host.
Oh, that is creepy. Because I remember I can still see her face.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, they had the creepy doll face too, like the smiling teenage girl.
Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds so. I love those kind of stories too.
I actually did read up on the Mother Mayhem story arc.
Probably turned you off when you first started playing that. Would you say, Eric?
Oh, what? What ended up turning me off from that was how stupid my character was acting there, especially when I went up
the
and talked.
downsides of it was the fact that they kept forcing you to act certain ways.
Terrible rail. It was pretty much a step-by-step guide of how not to railroad people. Should probably have just started making choo-choo noises every time they.
Yeah, it would have been better if they'd had more personality voice choices for those arcs.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Although granted, you talk about FusionNet, I will always have a deep hatred for Lady Jane from the Midnighter part.
Lady Jane, FusionNet was the most hated character in City of Heroes. I love the character personally.
Yeah. Oh, FusionNet's pretty good. I mean, I never.
So they came out with Lady Jane, and then FusionNet was a doll in relation to Lady Jane.
I know. I had.
I was bitching at her last night too.
I've run through her arc multiple times, and
Every City of Heroes person has.
And what I figured out happens is, when you rescue her, you are suddenly assaulted by all the Circle of Thorns spirit demons, which are a pain in the ass on their own. But then you have frickin' Lady Jane, who apparently snorts a bunch of crack because she goes speeding up. And it's like, and you can't defend yourself against all the.
My technique for doing that is the spawn that has her prisoner is the spawn in that entire map I touch last.
Yeah, and I never had any problems. The only other person I had an issue with on that with the AI was there was one of the missions in the Richty. It was one of the generals. I think it was the one general guy who was like, he kind of did the same thing. I'm like, you idiot! Why? when he like just suddenly just darts off in front of you and you can't, and by the time you get to him, he's dead.
One of the things that does annoy me about champions is they have these zone event mobs going on, and they will the mobs themselves wouldn't bother me. The placement of the mobs is,
Questionable?
Yeah, there are several escort missions which would be a frick ton easier, and were, before they added the placement of these zone event mobs.
Yeah, I've hate that recently myself.
God, how I
I escort this one guy, and it's like right in there's a freaking purple spawn of these things. I'm like, no!
I hate escort missions.
I will actually say that compared to my usual escort missions, Champions actually has a different idea about it. First of all, you walk faster than they ever will. Second of all, you recover faster, so there's less problems with you dying. And finally, third of all, they will actually defend themselves and actually hold off the guys while you get ready to charge in and save the day.
I'm actually, I've now granted partially because I run a character, Starlight uses stealth, is that about half the characters I have to escort cannot see me while I'm stealthed. It's not fun, but it's like, when it's like I get 2 feet away and they're like, where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Yeah.
I'm like, really? You can't just follow me while I'm stealth? I can't just make noise and say, I'm over here, come follow my voice.
You can't see the gray mist that's only 5 feet away from you?
It can't be worse than the Lalia quest in Lotro.
Oh.
You're bad. That does not sound like a good sound.
A little girl who continually runs towards zombies. Hordes of
And skulls.
zombies. Actually, they're barrow weights, but
Yeah, they're all barrels, but yeah.
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 Let's run into the most dangerous undead in the entire game at early levels and annoy you to hell because I can't find my stuff before I go home.
God.
You get a
Stab
kick
my
out of
eyes
it.
out with a knife.
Okay, so Matt, what was your final impressions of this game?
Sorry.
Be missed. The social events is probably the biggest highlight, to be honest. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on that I don't see that often in other games except for maybe AO. Like the whole radio station thing, which apparently is moving over to Champions from what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool.
Okay.
See that move over there and maybe have some more social stuff going on again.
Might be worth.
For those of you out there that don't know, the concept of having an in-game radio station doing streaming radio for your characters first started on Anarchy Online with Gridstream Productions.
Still going.
Yeah, which is still going to this day. And somebody, I suspect, moved City of Heroes from AO, or came up with the concept at a later date on their own, and created for Virtue the Cape Radio. It was a wonderful radio station which had a nice epic community attached to it that has been serving City of Heroes for years. And they were one of the first ones that responded to the news of the shutdown.
Oh.
And they were pretty much as much in shock as the players. The developers and the people at the Cape Radio have always been ones to talk to each other. So they knew what was going on.
Yeah. Although, when we're talking about player-run services, how could I have been so stupid to forget about? I want to thank the taxi bots.
Oh yeah.
Taxi bots.
Those disappeared once they merged the lines.
Yeah. Well, they started going out of use once you were able to get temporary powers, specifically the jetpack before you go into the hollows. Because I mean, I remember I never actually got a chance to use taxi bots because of being in Protector and all at first, but I remember having to make that trek on the hollows on foot. Oh, the pain.
No.
That is like, I'm like,
Bill.
and you're almost to the mission entrance. Suddenly, plus five purple enemies blocking your way. Dead. Hospital. God damn it.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about the people who would take you, or the things that would take you off to find exploration badges?
No, it was a service that was done that players did that ended a few issues ago when it was not needed anymore. Was that when you had places you needed to go that were in higher level zones than they would offer the taxi service, which what it was they would team with you, and they would move, and then they would teleport you to their location. So that you could get to, like, say, the tailor in Steel Canyon when you were only level 7.
Oh, I wish I'd known about that.
Yeah.
Or, like they mentioned, the hollows was a big deal because before they redesigned the hollows, it was quite often you would find mobs that were very purple to do.
Keep in mind, Hollows was, I believe, issue 2, and I played through it when it was first released, and by God, it was such a nightmare.
And yeah, before you had like Ninja Run and temporary travel powers, you basically had sprint at levels to get through the hollows.
Oh yes, those were fun. That was fun. I mean, especially getting to Frostfire's mission.
Oh yeah, I did Frostfire on early Patriot, and I got there on hover.
Yeah, I didn't have
hover. I remember that was
And it's one thing that Champion's done different is you do not get multiple travel powers. You get a travel power that upgrades at certain levels. And that kind of makes it better.
Yeah.
I think I'll miss the Halloween event
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
the only game you can actually.
a lot of the seasonal events in this game were wonderful.
Oh yeah, and the Ski Chalet. I'll miss skiing. I'll miss slipping and sliding around the slopes here. Maybe I'll get some footage of it.
Notice that this character actually has all the gold, silver, and bronze medals from the ski slope.
Same
Really?
here, I believe. Let me double check mine. I think I was able to. It took me the longest time to get the gold one. I think it was. Yeah, sure. Was Sure-Footed the one with the? No, Speeder in the advanced ski course. I remember staying up to like 4 in the morning to try and get it, and then some nice person speed boosted me, and I was able to get it. I was like so determined not to have to use speed boost, and I'm like, oh, screwing. Okay, guess this works.
I actually got the maneuver one by using Ninja Run instead of Super Speed on my Super Speed tune. Because Super Speed is not as maneuverable.
I can attest to this. I will agree.
So I would either overshoot horribly or undershoot horribly using that, but Ninja Run seemed to be absolutely perfect for it.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I know. I was just looking for my badge list, and I happened to notice that the only hero side task force she did of the Freedom Phalanx was Sister Sykes, the one that is no longer active.
Yep.
I just find that slightly humorous.
The heck?
You're spinning, Aaron.
Oh, I'm trying to knock off the AFK.
Oh, fair enough.
Stop
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Shoo.
Hit escape, Aaron.
God,
I've been doing that lately and it's not been working.
I'd love to do the abandoned sewer trial and the Eden trial at least one more time.
I've never done abandoned sewer. I would love to do abandoned sewer trial. I've never done any trials. I've never done any task forces.
I did a.
I apparently lost my 3 badges for.
Yeah, I actually remember when I first started on here with Shadow Kite. I did an entire. I led a successful sewer mission by just typing out everything. Keep in mind, there's a timer on that, and I was able to.
They're under accomplishment instead of events. Okay.
Yeah. I had to do keep in mind there is a very short timer, and you have to. Yeah, and everybody I was able to type all the instructions off quickly.
Yeah, it was a hard time getting it done on the legendary, and we failed it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then finally I got a pug team that knew what they were doing and finally got it, and I have that badge.
Yeah.
There's not many badges I don't have.
Yeah, I'm just
Character currently has 1,234 badges. I want to get 16 more badges at least before the server goes offline.
Where am I at as far as badges go? Wrong one. Let's see. Personal info. Oh, yeah, 574. Wow. Yeah, and there are certain badges I'm probably not going to be able to get any of the day badges anymore, or any more of the day badges, which is disappointing.
Yeah, I've got I need to get the 45 to 50 Ouroboros badges, and I've gotten all the Ouroboros badges. I've gotten all the crafting badges. I got all the AE badges, I think, except for one, which annoys me. I've never gotten that one, and that is to do a test of a mission with an 8-man team. I've gotten the majority of the day jobs. I've got all the market badges. I've gotten all the events badges I can. I've gotten almost all the defeats badges. I think that I'm missing one, maybe two. I'm missing like 10 vault doors and the mayhem mission badges. And I'm missing some of the badges from the new content. And that's really about it.
Yeah. Yeah, most...
I'm kind of anal retentive with exploration badges, all of those. Including the ones out in the Shadow Shard now. Those are kind of interesting reads.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be worth going through and collecting those guys.
But, yeah, I think, personally, that when this game closes its doors after November 30th, the MMO world is going to be a lot poorer.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing again, like I said, they're planning on the they're pretty much gonna say that the whole way NCSoft is handling this is has been getting a lot of negative press, and
I'm not talking about that. I am just talking about the contribution of this game to the MMO society.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That this was a shining example of how an MMO should be, with the way that the player community was and the way that the development community was. And when it is gone, the MMO world will be a poorer place for it.
Yeah.
And I hope someday that we will see a game that has a community like this and is run like this, not, on the executive level, but on the development level.
And they are...
That one to be around to stay, because an MMO like this should have been able to last forever, theoretically forever.
And at least the Titan Network, they are being realistic about it and are working on getting designs and everything ready so that they can start creating a spiritual successor to this game.
Yeah, I'm a little leery. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, if they can, it definitely will be they'll definitely be more of a reality.
City of Heroes took place of a rare window of opportunity. I suspect by the time Titan Network gets off their duff and actually manages to develop something like this, that community will have scattered to the four winds.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm gonna
already perched so hard in champions that they won't move.
Well, that's another thing, is how many people, this is their only MMO that they play. How many people are not going to be in any other MMOs after this game shuts down?
I mean, I know they're talking about seeing if they can pull in the talent from Paragon, some of the talent from Paragon Studios before they go off to their own wins to their own places as well.
The thing is that Titan Network does not have a lot of money.
Yeah, of course. They're gonna have to work on crowd.
They're not a development studio. They do not have the kind of funds a development studio has.
Yeah.
So how are they going to pay these guys? These people need to feed their families.
Of course. I'm not.
That's why I pimped them out earlier. I will pimp them out again to studios like Funcom and Cryptic and any of the other MMO developers out there that do need new staff.
Of course. And
These people are good people.
Of course. And I'm just. Granted, there's from what I've seen, there are a lot of people that are willing to back it, at least through stuff like crowdfunding and whatnot. And I mean, I'll agree. We'll just have to see what they end up doing anyway. See if they'll be able to pull it off.
Kickstarter is a big thing. I mean, thanks to Kickstarter, we may be seeing a console that brings app games to the TV.
I mean,
yeah, but this is a little more than Kickstarter, I think.
I know.
Kickstarters are for companies or even garage companies that are kickstarting a new product. Here, you would with what Titan's doing is they're basically trying to kickstart a new development studio.
The Gamers 3 Kickstarter. It happened and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's just kickstarting that's just kickstarting production on a fan movie.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's 100% certainty that this is something that will happen. I'm just saying that this is something I would be awesome to see happen. It would be great to actually see a community-run MMO for once.
It would be nice, but I think the problem is to try to recapture City of Heroes.
Yeah.
The average time it takes to develop a new game from the ground up is about 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
at the time we would see something out of these guys, it would be 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
And at that point, I suspect that these crowds will have gone to various games and will have been assimilated into that society.
Yeah.
Or they will stop playing MMOs altogether.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, there may be a few people that are going to be like me who are going to be going off to their own places, but they'll still just kind of keep an ear out, just always kind of check and see what's going on. But
I mean,
not very many. Like as in
network
seeing if there's
too is put it together and hope lightning strikes twice.
Pretty much. Yeah, but once the doors close on November 30th and NCSoft is not budging, I'm not keeping my hopes up.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. At that point, if the doors close at November 30th, NCSoft has not announced they're selling the IP or anything. It's basically the City of Heroes IP will be in a box that will be stored in a warehouse next to the Ark of the Covenant.
In Tabula Rasa.
With Tabula Rasa.
The only way we're gonna and the only way we'll
my NCSoft launcher, and I will be making sure that software is absolutely purged from my system.
And I mean, the only way we'll
NCSoft again.
Yeah, the only way we'll ever see anything happen to NCSoft is if they end up going bankrupt and then they have to sell all their assets, and then we just have to wait and see who ends up purchasing the City of Heroes IP and see if they'll even do anything.
If it be purchased by Funcom, I would be such a little happy person.
Yeah. Yeah. Granted, what I'm worried about is if somebody just buys it just to make sure that it's never used again.
Oh yeah.
That would be if Cryptic bought it.
Or if EA bought it, or some other game company that just wants to make sure there's no competition.
Or Nexon.
So EA doesn't have a superhero competition.
Well,
Nexon.
no, it'd still be technically an MMO, but
yeah, but it's not that genre.
yeah.
It's like saying that AO is competing for membership with EverQuest.
Well, they are old enough.
That's why I use those two.
In all technical terms, sure, but yeah, okay, I see your point.
It's like if Star Wars and Lord of the Rings were hitting the theaters at the same time. They're different genres. Sure, everyone that's going to it is geek, but you've got your sci-fi geek and your fantasy geek.
Yeah. So sometimes they do overlap.
I
Sometimes
overlap.
but anybody that does overlap will be going to both of them.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, any final thoughts?
Oh, bugger.
I think we've pretty much talked this one out here.
Yeah. It's fun.
This will be missed.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, you're always welcome to come back and come join us.
Of
You know.
course,
Join
yeah.
us,
What are
champion.
you doing next time?
I will probably be doing that. When is that gonna be?
Well, next week I'm having a wisdom tooth pulled.
Oh, fun.
So
So is the fun.
it probably won't be, it'll probably be either maybe a few days before that happens or like the week of the 15th or so.
Well,
Okay, but I mean, what will we be doing?
I've been debating whether to do Lotro, Champions, or the Secret World. Unless you guys have any preference, I would hesitate to go back to Anarchy Online so soon after the first episode.
There is
Noted.
something that we should be noting is the fact that the Halloween events are going to be starting fairly soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if, well, I would say, you said, when are you having your wisdom tooth pulled?
The 11th, which
The
is
11th.
next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay. So, well, the thing is, once I won't be starting anything new until earliest Friday. After I've taken my certain course, and then it's probably it's gonna be up in the air because I do have potential plans on one of those on at least one day. So it's I almost want to it's I would say if you, depending on which one you choose, would probably be the one I start with. I just have to try and get something up fast so I can run and so that way I can get used to the game before the next one happens.
Yeah, it depends on what the next one will be too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's my
does
meaning.
anyone have any clue on when the Halloween events are going on?
Yeah, when is like the earliest Halloween event?
I don't know. City of Heroes is going to start there soon because they have that, super fast schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let me just hit the list.
I know Lotro tends to leave their Halloween thing on to like halfway through November.
So Lotro should probably be the one we would do last.
Okay.
I was gonna say if you're gonna do Lotro, that's gonna be probably the only one I'm gonna end up sitting out because
Yeah, I'm the same on that one because I don't play Lotro.
I just don't. I have a call me crazy, but I have a thing against fantasy MMO. I'm bored shitless of fantasy.
Halloween
It's like one of the few I have.
City of Heroes is October 26th to October 29th. So that's not going to be during our normal schedule. So we might want to pop in for like half an hour on one of those to discuss the City of Heroes Halloween event and what it was, and
A quickie.
Otherwise, their winter event, November 9th through November 12th.
Of course, that's also up to Erin. It's technically her show if she wants to do a quickie.
I'm just giving advice here. That's all.
Yeah. So that was City of Heroes?
Yeah, that's City of Heroes. It's going to be the last hurrah for the Halloween event.
October 29th?
Yeah, this weekend is the redo of the Summer Blockbuster, which will be Friday through Monday.
Okay.
Next week, we have off on City of Heroes. Actually, the next 2 weeks we have off on City of Heroes. Then the Halloween event is October 26th through the 29th.
Okay.
That's a Friday through a Monday.
Okay.
Then we have, after that, it has 1 week off. And then the winter event is November 9th, which is a Sunday. Oh, wait, no. excuse me. It's November 9th is a Friday through November 12th, which is a Monday. And then November 23rd through the 30th, that's a full week, is a Rick the Invasion week. And then
Which will end the world of City of Heroes.
kind of left me. I had read that after playing City of Heroes, and I was a little bitter. So my comment on that was, so the Ricky invasion up to the end, eh? I guess we can assume the Ricky wins.
Yeah.
I was.
They win this battle, but not the war.
Yeah, about this.
It just the one disappointing thing is that I would have been nice if they had let the development team at least finish a little bit, so that maybe we could actually fight the battalion at the end, and maybe the battalion wins.
It would have been nice. There's a lot of things that could have been done. Even they could have cut the battalion stuff and kind of turned the oncoming storm into an anticlimax.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to actually have gotten that kind of stuff done.
But
Just so there was some kind of conclusion to the plot instead of just going, you guys, out the door. Don't let it hit your butt on the way out.
yeah, I know. This is
That's going to be my problem, is there's a massive fail of closure here.
this is like a textbook example of everything you should not do when closing an MMO.
The thing is that most television series will at least get some closure to it.
Yeah.
Nowadays. They very rarely will just axe television series without, so much as a decent ending.
Unless of course the channel happens to be Fox.
Yeah,
So what we're saying is NC Soft is the Fox of MMOs?
probably.
I actually would like to, if it's still recording, I'd actually like to say we should end on that.
Yes, and Csoft is Fox.
Fox of MMOs.
Get my tears dry.